ladies and gentlemen, I just got done playing Arc Raiders, which is a third-person shooter, but also an extraction shooter as well. A little bit like Marathon, but I got done playing it, and I have a couple thoughts in comparison to Marathon as a game. Now, I will say that Marathon is, in terms of development, very far behind from Arc Raiders. It looks like Arc Raiders is doing a tech test for the next couple of days, and playing that game really just kind of opened my eyes to how far behind we actually are in Marathon. And I don't want this to turn into a negative kind of video, because it won't be that. But I do want to lay out the actual situation that we're in. So playing inside of Arc Raiders, and I'll have a clip for you here shortly, we got to experience proximity chat and an extraction shooter once again.
Friends, we can be friends.
I will. Give me a second. Wait. Hey, wait. Let me tell you something. I gotta tell you something real quick. Just listen. If you res me right now, I will do anything you want. Anything. Let me just get in there. Let me get in there. We can extract together, okay? Can you do that for me?
Tell me, what do I gain from this?
I will tell your mother that she raised a very nice gentleman.
You got good stuff on you?
No. I'm just like, I'm having a rough time, and it was in my butt. These moments will never happen in Marathon unless proximity chat is added. And I truly think that proximity chat is necessary in a game like Marathon. And I know they're working on it, so obviously we'll kind of skim over that point. It is what it is. They're working on it. Hopefully they can get it out. There was a lot of other things, though, in Arc Raiders that I really enjoyed, that I think, you know, if Bungie's watching Arc Raiders, which I'm sure they are, because it's essentially a direct competitor, although it's kind of not, because they're not the same, but is a lot of the systems that they have in place. So number one, there is customization. Customization is beautiful in Arc Raiders in terms of customizing your character, and you can actually unlock a battle pass with points you get in the game that then unlock customization to your character, like hair, etc. So really cool to have that. And I know we have runners in this game that are, like, you know, that have different abilities and stuff like that, but I really like the customization of the character a lot more personally. I even kind of, we kind of talked about this on stream, how maybe there's a possibility that we could go to customizable runners and just make the current runners like Locust, Void, you know, all of the runners, we can make them traders in the game, essentially, right? I think that would go against everything they're doing right now, though, and I don't think that'll be something that they do, but I just think it'd be really cool to have that. And then maybe you get equipment, like if you've ever played Halo Infinite, they have like a thruster and stuff like that. You get equipment that you can customize in Marathon to get the abilities that those runners have. Like, let's say you want Void's Invis, or whatever, you'd use that as an equipment. It would be equipment you can use. Anyway, I don't think that's plausible, but you know, I just thought I'd mention it because we talked about it in my chat over on twitch.tv/ActiveE. Every day I stream, by the way, every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, that was one thing. The other thing is they had a bit of a hideout type area. And in that hideout type area, they have a lot of cool mechanics in terms of crafting. So you can craft different items, you can craft different weapons, and it makes a lot of these things you get in the world valuable. You get a lot of stuff in the world. There's a lot of loot in this game, and you can bring it all back to your area, and you can use it all to craft different items. I think that's a really cool system because it makes every item valuable that you get in the world. Now, currently in Marathon, we have that same type of situation where you get valuables in the world and you use them for your potential, your runner and the upgrades. So obviously, if we go to factions here, you end up here, you go to upgrades, and you need specific items for those upgrades. And when you get those specific items, you'll be able to get that upgrade itself. I personally don't really like this use of these items. Personally, I like there to be a crafting system instead, and then using something like a a skill tree, like we see, of course, again in Arc Raiders. And I'm not trying to say that they should copy Arc Raiders in any sort of way. I just think it's a lot more interesting to get points for your skill tree for leveling up. So let's say you level up to level 2, you get a skill point. Level 3, you get a skill point. And then using the items you get in the game to then craft yourself different things. Maybe you craft an augment instead. I don't know, for your character. I like that system a lot more. Another thing that we got to talk about, the art design. It is very like different, of course, than Marathon. It's more realistic. It's interesting. It's like Star Wars-esque, I would say. Personally, for me, that is a flavor type thing. If you like that sort of thing, then that'll be for you. They have shields in Arc Raiders as well, where you can recharge your shields just like in Marathon. Same type of situation, but the art design in the game very different. I enjoy that art design. I enjoy the aesthetic and the environments and all of that is like real world. It was cool, but I prefer a more sci-fi space type feel. So Marathon definitely wins in that category. Proximity chat, again, we talked about that. Very, very important. The bots, the UESC, comparing them to Marathon. I will never complain about the UESC in Marathon ever again. I got swarmed by literally 40 different bots in that game. They're called arcs or whatever. And they wouldn't stop. And it was because I was just sitting there and they kept alerting each other and they kept coming. It was insane. Absolutely insane. But there are some cool things about that as well. And it is the big bosses in that game. So there's one that's like, dead and he's just sitting there and it doesn't look like he will come alive anytime soon. But there are like these spiders that I ended up almost dying to a couple times that chase you really fast and very scary, but it's cool, right? There's differences in the amount of characters or PvE that they have in the game, and it makes for a very enjoyable experience. I really had a good time, fighting those guys, but they were kind of crazy. And again, I want to preface that everything I'm talking about right now, I want to see it in Marathon. Not in the way Arc Raiders did it, but like, again, the 4 coming in, maybe the compilers, we're fighting compilers. Like, there's so much they can do in the world of Marathon. And playing Arc Raiders, it was a good way to kind of, in my mind, see like, okay, this is possible. This is something we could shoot for. And I hope they do. I hope they're able to kind of reach that because it is, I don't know, there's something about it. There's something beautiful about it. Solo queue was another thing, right? They allowed for solo queue. And the way solo queue works is you get priority matches or you get prioritized to match up against other solo queue players. So there were times I would fight a team of 2, but most of the time I was fighting other solo queue players. And I thought that was awesome because I like to solo myself. I'm a big solo queue guy. And I feel almost like when ranked comes out in Marathon, I'm going to be forced to play with other people. And I don't enjoy that experience. I don't mind playing with other people, but I really, truly enjoy solo queuing. So that's an interesting thing. They had that as well. They had night raids. There was like night raids that you couldn't get into just yet. There was like 62 hours left, it looks like, on those. They had silencers on the weapons and mods in general. I think I looted a purple mod at one point. But they had like the mods. You could take the mods off, put them on. Same thing in the same raid. I know that Marathon's not going for that type of thing, so that's interesting again. I think Bungie and Marathon they're taking a very different approach to this stuff, and I don't want to fully judge it until I see the game completed. Basically, though, I was like, this Arc Raiders experience really kind of set me up to say, okay, this is what this is what Marathon could be, right? This is what Marathon could be with the effort, with the time that they put in. Arc Raiders seems pretty much complete. And to be honest, I played maybe 3 hours of it and then got right back on Marathon again. The third-person shooter thing, not for me. Obviously, I think I did mention it is a third-person shooter, whereas Marathon is a first-person shooter. I personally don't like third-person shooters because you can really abuse, standing and looking past a wall. And it happened to me a couple times where I lost the fight. You just got to play differently. I I just personally don't like them. I know a lot of people do like third-person shooters. So that being said, I think, you know, Arc Raiders and Marathon can live in that same space. I think they can both thrive in the extraction genre, but I think Marathon and Bungie can learn a lot from Arc Raiders. And, you know, I'm not going to tell Bungie what to do. I know they probably have corporate breathing down their neck. I don't really know what's going on over there. I'm not a fly in the wall, and I won't pretend to be like we see a lot of people do. I won't pretend to know what's happening. But I would love to see Marathon in the state that Arc Raiders is in terms of completeness. And I hope we see that by December 26th. And if we do, then great. I don't even think Arc Raiders has a release date yet. So as complete as their game is, they're still not confident in a release date, which is insane. Marathon is confident, and Bungie's confident enough to have a release date of September 23rd. I think it is actually, sorry. And I mean, that is awesome. You know, it tells me that that they're ready and ready to release the game, which is really, really cool. Sound design is another big factor. I love the sound design in Arc Raiders. I think the sound design in Marathon is also great. I think both of them are phenomenal. And they both kind of fit their worlds perfectly. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my review. Arc Raiders is good. Marathon's still my home. I could never play Arc Raiders as a main game. I think there's too much of the upgrading thing involved. I don't, it just seemed monotonous to go out and get these like specific things. There's just a lot of loot in the game. The loot's overwhelming, but at the same time, I think that having that type of hideout thing to upgrade is really cool. So it's just an extra mini game and a reason to be outside of the game, which I like. So we'll see what Bungie's able to do. I'm really excited and have a lot of hope for what they're able to do. I think that they work very quickly, and I'm excited to see what they come up with by the time the beta comes out, how different the game is, and when the game comes out September 23rd. If you enjoyed this video, of course, hit the like button, hit that sub button as well. And of course, as always, I will see you in the next video. God bless.